Hello, everyone. Sunny here. I'm just going to walk you through the process of setting up your agency on TaskMelon so you can set up your compliance team with a tool that they will love to use. You may not like the name TaskMelon, but you will love what it does for your agency. Okay. So what you're looking at right now is basically the initial page after you sign up. This is where you're going to create your agency profile. For this video purposes, I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as possible. I'm going to go ahead and name this TLC Healthcare, just so at least that's what we're going to be working with. I'm going to go add it and add a phone number to the profile. I will add an email. Okay, so that'll be the email, the address, 123 Healthcare Road, uh, New York, the state. We're going to go ahead and select New York. I'm just going to create a zip code there. And now for agencies that provide services in multiple states, you can select, all the states that you provide services out of. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and select a few. I'm going to select New York, Pennsylvania. I'm going to select Massachusetts, and I'm going to go ahead and select Connecticut. Okay. New York time zone, I'm going to keep it as that. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next page. Now, this is where I'm going to select the employee type. So what kind of employees do I hire, right? For this example, I'm going to keep PCA, I'm going to keep HHA, CNA. I'm not going to need medical assistants. I'm not going to need phlebotomists. I'm not going to need the LPN. I'll keep an RN, NP. I won't need this here. I can add social worker if I need to, admin staff, office staff, caregivers, whatever the case is. And I can actually add custom employees. So if I wanted to add clerical, as an example, I can add clerical, right? Or if I don't want it anymore, I can just go ahead and delete that. I'm going to move forward. Now, these are the compliance requirements sections. Okay, so this is where we get to check what we want to add in for our onboarding team, that they know that this is what they need to make sure that the hires have in order for them to be compliant. Okay. So security, driver's license, state ID, passport, work authorization. I can keep them on, check them if I don't want to use them. I-9, W-4, background check, reference letters, right? Some you may want two reference letters, so I'm going to show you how you can go ahead and update that to get a second reference letter. Employment verification if you need, photo, resume, drug test, anything that you need, you can keep check or check if you need it or uncheck if you do not need it, right? That's the idea. Anything that you need. So you can go ahead and check whatever you want. Maybe a professional license, maybe you need an MPI, right? Whatever it is you want. This is for your trainings, right? So if you want to do training, you want to make sure that your staff receives training. Um, you can go ahead and select whatever it is you want. And you can add, if you want to, there's any additional training you want to add, you can actually add this here. I'm going to show you exactly how. Maybe you need some auto insurance, right? Some insurance liabilities insurance, maybe. Um, Maybe your orientation, right? Your fingerprints. Maybe you need to do your annuals, right? You want to add that. And this is where you can add any custom, um, requirements that you're going to need. Like I mentioned, perhaps a um, second reference, right? So you can do that there, right? So you can add that there. It could be under employment, and you can select whatever it is you need. So if you're going to be doing with training, insurance, certification, anything you need, you select the right one is going to be under there. So, and if it has an expiration date, you need to make sure you click on the expire. So this is going to set the reminders for you. So this way you're never going to forget who has documentation that's about to expire. So this is going to be the second reference. This is for employment. I'm going to go ahead and add that. And I'm going to move on. Now, the reminder setting, this is important. By default, we have this as 30 days. You can change it to whatever you want. I do recommend leaving it at 30 days so it gives your compliance team 30 days advance so that they can go ahead and start working on getting those documents that, or at least notifying the caregivers as to what is about to expire so that the caregivers or your field employees have sufficient time to get the documents that they need or schedule appointments if it's medical related and things like that. So you're going to have that there. You can again, you can set yourself multiple reminders if you want. So you can do a 30-day, 15-day reminder, and even a 7-day reminder if you want. It's fine. It's up to you, however you want to set it up. Okay. You're going to complete the setup. It's going to set up your account, and once your account is set up, now you're going to be able to start the onboarding process to see where you are in terms of compliance. Okay. We're on a 14-day free trial, so there's no billing here. After the 14th day, if you decide to continue using the platform, we will bill you the rates per employee per month. Okay, so as you can see, you start with the 0% in terms of compliance. This is where you're going to be adding your employees. You can add your employees manually, or you can actually import them. If you import them, you can import them by Excel file, and you can have the employees' names, the job types. You can even include documents that you already have for the employees. If they are documents that have expiration dates, you want to make sure that those expiration dates are accurate and on that file. So that's if you have a lot of employees, that might be the easier way to go. Adding employees manually will almost certainly guarantee you accuracy across the board. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so if you have information in your current platform, whatever you're using, and it's not really accurate, I don't recommend that you input that because you're just going to transfer inaccurate data into the system, and it's going to make it a lot more harder for your employees to keep things on track. So adding employees manually may be the way to go, depending on the size of employees you have. Okay, and I'll walk you through the steps of how to do that. Your compliance requirements is everything we just looked at, right? Everything that we just looked at for what we want in terms of documents for our employees. But this is actually where you would go if there's some documents that are not required for all of your employees, right? As an example, your MPI number, right? Your HHAs is not going to be MPI numbers. So if you only need this for your MTs, then what you would want to do is you would click on edit, and here you're going to select who actually needs it. So PCA does not need it, HHA does not need it, CNA does not need it, your RNs is not going to need it, right? Unless you need it. But for this example, we're going to keep it as MPs. We're going to get rid of social workers. Just keep it for the MP only, okay? And we're going to update that. And then what happens is it changes here. You can see now that this only applies to MPs, okay? So you can do this for every one. If you only want your HHAs and PCAs to take the sexual harassment training or the HIPAA training, whatever the case may be, auto insurance may only be applied to your nurses, right? And MPs. So maybe you want to, check that off, right? And keep it only for your RNs and MPs and your social workers, maybe update that, right? And now every time, now the reason this is important is because when you are entering an employee and it's an HHA, it's an example, they're not going to be, your compliance team is not going to have to be checking off MPI or auto insurance for HHAs. It's not going to be visible on their profile. So they're just going to be, updating compliance documents that are required for HHAs. Whereas the MP will have MPI number and will have auto insurance as required for compliance. So this way your compliance team knows that this is something that they're going to require. Okay, so this is really important. You don't want to. This is what you want to set up initially, and you can always come back and update this if you need to. Add new documents. Right, you're working with another state, and there's some new documents that you need. Some sort of forms or documents that needs to be signed. You can always go ahead and click on the add requirements, and then that's how you add more documents, and then specify for which employee type is going to need those. So before we get into any of the rest of the tabs here on the left, let's go ahead and add an employee just so you can see how easy it is and what it looks like to add a new employee. So I'm going to do the add employee. We're going to go ahead and create Mike K. Miller. Email is going to be test@yahoo.com. Phone number, we're going to create a phone number for Mike. Employee type, we're going to go ahead and select HHA. Department, you can go ahead and type whatever department you want. These fields are in place to help you be a little more organized. So if this is an HHA, you might want to put HHA, because when it comes to filtering, maybe perhaps by departments, you know that if you're looking for HHAs, you're going to be able to filter by HHAs. Same as for location. You can use this however you want, but I do recommend perhaps, if let's say it's New York and you want to put for Brooklyn or Queens, or you want to just say New York, whatever the case is, whatever is going to work for your agency or your organization, whatever makes the most sense for you, you can use it however you want. But this is going to help you apply filters later when you're searching for your team. So this should be consistent across your entire agency. So if you're going to use department as HHA to be able to find HHA's later, or if you're going to use location by city or exactly state, you should absolutely implement that across. Make sure your entire team knows this, so that it's consistent, the data when it comes to filtering to find employees. The hire date, this would be the hiring date. You can always update this later. Employee ID, you can go ahead and use that if you want to. It's optional, but if you want to put an employee ID, you can. And this is where the state or the location that this employee will be working out of. In this scenario, we're going to have him only working in New York. We're going to add the employee, and it's going to create the employee's record. Okay. So now I created this record. If I want to see what's going on, I can see here in the audit log, everything that happens in this platform is recorded, and you're going to be able to find it in the audit log. So that's really important. Okay, so you'll be able to find anything, any updates, anything that goes on will be in the audit log. Now back to the employee. If I want to make compliance dashboard, you'll see that there's now one employee. We're still at 0%. Okay, there's one active employee, 0% compliance, missing docs. You can see some recent activities here. All this here hasn't populated any data yet, because there's nothing to populate yet. But we're going to go back to the employee, and we are going to start looking at a few things here. So here's Mike K. Miller's profile. We can see that he has 0 out of 25 documents that's needed. We have him as an HHA, his email, his phone number for New York, right? So if he was going to be working in multiple states, perhaps an MP may be doing some telehealth or anything like that, and that MP is working in multiple states, it would list the states here. So you would know which state this employee is missing documents for, okay? Now, if I need to know exactly what this employee is missing, I can generate a list here. I can copy this. I can send it as a text message. Whatever I need to do, I can print it out, give it to the employer if they're in the office. If I want to draft a communication, the same thing. Here it is, Mike, email. Here's a list of things that's needed. I can copy, and I can go ahead and send it out as email as well. Okay, so this is going to be a time saver for your compliance team if you want to go ahead and start sending out communication to the field employees. So we can see at a quick glance all the documents that are missing. Now, if we need to start updating the record, let's say that we have the documents in place and we need to start, updating the profile. This is how we do it. Okay, so just at a quick glance, this is the title of what it is documented. So this would be the second reference, is the annual evaluation. This is the issue date. So this can be when it was issued or when you received it or anything like that. Expiration date. So this is key only for documents that expire and you want to be able to receive a notification that this is about to expire. So this would be good for like state IDs, passports, physicals, drug tests if you want, annual evaluations, anything that you want to receive a notification on so you don't miss dates. This is where you're going to want to add these dates here. Your options would be begins by default as incomplete. You have complete, you have received. Both will work as complete or received. depending on how you want to use it. Um, but it's designed that, if it's a in service, they completed it, right? If it's a reference and you received it, you can mark it as received. If it's something that's waiting review, maybe that's the fingerprints, right? Waiting pending review. If it's missing, you haven't received it, right? It's missing, it expired or not required, meaning you absolutely don't need this at all. So here we go. This is how we're going to do this. So the and missing and incomplete pretty much would be the same, just so you understand that as well. Okay, so incomplete, we're going to leave this as just for this video so we can see how it looks on the dashboard, so you can kind of get a sense as what it looks like when anything's missing or whatever the case may be. um, Second reference, incomplete. Annual, I'm going to go ahead and mark this as the 22nd, and I'm going to give myself a reminder for next year to give I'm going to mark this as completed, and I'm going to mark this as verified. So next year, the 22nd of July, this will be when the annual is due. I am going to receive notification that in 30 days that this one is going to need it, the annual. Fingerprint clearance, right? Probably was submitted on the 22nd, and maybe it's pending review. Okay, so we can do that. Orientation, completed, right? So let's go ahead and mark that as completed. Verify, that's done. Sexual harassment training, completed. Okay, completed. Verify. Okay. HIPAA training, completed, right? So I'm going to go ahead and mark that as completed. Verify. Professional license. So this would be HHA certificate, anything like that. And I should have actually created that, right, an HHA certificate. So if I want to go ahead back to the requirements, I can go ahead and put this into here, and I can go ahead and put it in add here, and I'm going to put in HHA certificate, right? And I'm going to go ahead and put that as here, and it's for HHA. Okay. And if I want to create one for PCA, I can do that also for PCA. I'm going to add that. I'm going to go back to Mike's. I'm going to open up Mike's record and HHA certificate. Okay. So that's here. So now let's say that it was issued on the 7th of July. Okay. We received it. We're going to verify. And if I want to have a copy of it, I want to have a copy on a platform. And I'm saving, let's say I'm scanning the certificate, but I'm saving that on my Dropbox or my Google Drive or anything like that. The only thing I'm going to do is just get that copy, that link to it, and I'm going to paste it right in here. Okay, I'm going to paste it right in here. And then whenever I come back to see his record, if I want to take a quick look at his certificate, or if I have any questions about the ID, whatever the case is, I can click on that link and it's going to show up right on the screen so I can view it. Okay, so this is really fantastic way to kind of keep data and kind of keep a visual of documents if you need to. But now that we uploaded the HHA certificate, I don't need it here, right? And I can also go back to compliance here, and I can go, let me take this off from the HHAs and PCAs, right? Maybe I could do something like that. And now I no longer have to worry about when I add new employees or HHAs to see that on the list as something that I have to waste time to mark off as not required. Okay. So not required, flu. So let's say Mike had his flu shot taken on the 22nd, and we're going to need this next year. So we will go ahead and put that on for the 22nd, complete it, verify it. COVID, same thing, 22nd, complete it, verify it. Reference letter, let's say that we got a reference um, received, verified. Varicella, let's say that we don't need this, right? Mm, MMR, let's just say the same thing. Got it, completed, verified. Say this one that we don't need this one, right? Say this one, 22nd. Let's say we want to set a reminder for next year. Completed, verified, right? Let's just say that, just for the sake of the video, we're going to put this one as not required. Physical, let's just go ahead and we got this one. Let's say that next year, verified, right? Now, let's say it's a drug test, right? Just had a drug test. But let's say your policy, your agency policy is every 3 months, whatever the case is, or however you want to do it. I'm going to set the reminder so you can kind of see what it looks like with an expiration of just the end of the month, so you can see how the system lets you know that something's coming up. So we got this one, background check completed. Right, you got your W-4, right? So W-4 is in place, completed. Yeah, well, anything you need for your onboarding should be added to the platform, so that you know that your team is set up for success, and they're going to be able to manage compliance for your company. You're never going to have to worry about any audits or anything like that. Okay. Passport. Let's say, let's just just for the sake of the video, let's just say that this is expiring received, verified. Again, you're never going to have to worry about any of these things, tracking these. The system is going to help you track it. You're going to be fine. You're going to make sure your compliance team is going to be working at a level that you've probably never seen before. They're going to be super organized. This platform is extremely easy to use. Um, so you're going to be doing your compliance team a uh, huge favor by having this system in place. And again, you scan all your documents, copy the link right here to wherever you're storing your documents. Google Drive, Dropbox, whatever it is, just you got the link, store it right there, and it's going to be there. You need to add a note. You can add a note right there. Doesn't matter what it is, and save it, and it's going to be stored right to that piece of file of the record there. Okay. Once this is done, we can scroll back up. We can see that Mike is now 89%. Okay. 17 out of 19 documents. Okay. Outstanding. All right. So we're okay. Look, we got a missing document right here. Okay. So it's telling us what's missing. Okay. We're at the dashboard. We're now at 89% for the agency. Okay. We got one employee. Okay. Expiring soon, right? 30 days. What's about to expire? Drug test. So this is just a quick glance at the dashboard, so your administrators know exactly what's going on. Anybody logs in knows exactly what's going on, how your compliance team is doing. And if you want to kind of look and see exactly where we are, you can see you got your incomplete, you got your complete, okay, your pending review, not required, okay. This is all from Mike Miller. You to see what's going on here. But this is a lot of data. As you keep adding employees, there's going to be a lot of data to go through. You can filter eventually by employees as you keep adding them. You might want to look at status, like, incomplete. What is incomplete? Okay, second reference. Need a second reference. So this has to be completed. Okay, maybe it's complete now. So maybe you might want to update it there. Um, you know, um, Expired, and the review, the fingerprints. Okay, maybe you got the results in. If you got the results in, you can go ahead and take care of that right there. Perhaps it's different states, right? So maybe you added employees from different states. You need to look into that. So this is where really quickly your team is going to be able to find the data they need to make sure that all of your employees are submitting the documents that they need to submit, and the onboarding is moving swiftly and accurately. Okay, so that, you certainly don't want employees working if they're not compliant yet. So this is gonna absolutely gonna help your team be better at what they do. If you need to quickly update a document, you can. You got to receive a document. You can go through the employees. You can go through here. You can select the employer you're going to be updating, and you can go ahead and select what it is you have for whatever state it is. Perhaps Mike works in multiple states, and you got something for another state that's missing. You can go ahead and take all the information. Um, Everything that's needed. Okay, right through here, you save it, and it's going to update it into Mike's profile. This is how you can check your reports, so you can see your compliance summary, your missing documents. It's a quick glance right here, so you can see who's missing documents. You can see if there's anything expiring soon, employee compliance. So it's really straightforward. It's designed to be easy to use, easy to manage, um, not to confuse anyone, to make you feel exactly how you should feel, like you're on track on being compliant and making sure that you're running your agency the way it's supposed to be ran. I've seen agencies who use all sorts of platforms to try to manage their compliance. It's super chaotic. This is not designed that way. This is designed to make sure that you're set for success. Okay. Um, you have a smart insights here. You can type in whatever you want, who's about to be not compliant in the next 30 days. It's going to pull the data right from the system for you. So here you go. If you needed to know who's going to be out of compliance in 30 days, it's giving you, Mike Miller in 30 days is going to be needing a drug test, right? It expires on the 31st, 4 days left. It's designed to keep you on track. Audit log, which we were looking at earlier. This is what it shows you, everything that's going on. It's all here. You can see it all here. Everything that happened, who did it, when it happened, right? Which date, time, and everything. So it's all here. Notifications. So if anything that's expiring, anything that's going on, you're gonna get all your notifications here. Policies for the app and everything is all in here. Training. We have training videos. We'll be adding more videos as we continue to develop the platform. This will be your company setting. If you want to add your logo, you just paste the logo here, the link to it. Website if you want to. And again, if you need to increase the states, you need to make any updates to the states that you service, it would be here. This is where your billing information goes. Okay, so this is where your information is all here for billing. Settings. If you want to invite team members, which you will, as you should, you're just going to put in their email, what their role is going to be, whether it's agency admin, compliance manager, compliance coordinator, or somebody who's just reading. You just want somebody to only read, only make no updates whatsoever. You send invite. They're going to get an email. When they get the email, they will create an account using that same email. Once they create their account with their password, they instantly get connected to your agency. Okay. Types, these are just, the types that you hire and your reminders and so forth. And if you have any questions or you want to know about the platform, whatever the case may be, you got your help page here. So this is the gist of it all. This is exactly what this beautiful platform was designed to help healthcare, home care agencies, anybody who's providing um, field employees, medical, healthcare, billing, Medicaid, whatever the case is. This platform is designed to keep you successful. If you have any questions, you can always reach out. But I wanted to have this video available for you all, so you can see how wonderful this platform is and how easy it is to use. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it.